Oh, wait.
Oh, there we go. It is live. All right.
Oh,
What's going on, peoples? We are out here for episode 13 of season 4. The second to last episode of the season because Flash has convinced me we're going to do one after Thanksgiving to recap Rivalry Week. And
It's
guess
the
what's making
essence,
appearance?
of all sports rivalries, and no one does rivalry better than college football rivalry week. So I think it's right.
And we have a special guest appearance this week. Not only
Yeah.
from JPeeps on this side. Say hello, JPeeps, joining us from the Running Gun.
hi, guys. Hi.
And a special guest appearance by yours truly, the whiteboard.
I really thought
You would know.
first.
You would get the reference if you watched the episode last week of the Running Gun, the season finale, where we discussed every possible scenario. Except that scenario did not include Hendon Hooker, good recovery for my man, tearing his ACL, and having Tennessee get their butts kicked by Spencer Rattler. That being said, we are going to talk about all the new possible scenarios coming out this week. I assume the college football rankings should be dropping the next hour or so.
They already dropped.
Oh, they did? Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Because I know last week it dropped 9 o'clock, so I was like, I'm not sure.
So it was it was interesting. Well, we'll talk about it here in this first segment. But yeah, I'm here to talk about college football, of course, for this first
We got to talk about some FCS snubs, some maybe HBCU to the AAC conference news. You never know. The teaser. We're gonna talk about that first. But that being said, be a friend, tell a friend, like, share, subscribe. Flash, you got anything before we hit the show on the road?
You said everything I needed to say, so
all right, let's get this show
let
going.
It fly.
Let it fly. Guys.
Of course. Okay, awesome. So here we are. You guys go ahead and kick it off for us.
All right, I got to switch the background.
Yeah. Not doing it as quickly and as efficiently, huh?
No, I was putting the We Live tweet out with the whiteboard making a guest appearance.
Okay,
whiteboard.
Drop off for
I take it.
All right. That being said, let's talk about the big college rivalry week game, the biggest.
Whoa! We can talk about. No, let's not start with rivalry week. We gotta talk about the rankings. That takes percentage.
I was waiting for JPeeps to come on. Oh, there he is. Okay, never mind.
Let's talk about rankings, Mr. Ace.
All right. Fine.
Those actually came out. So how it worked out was you had the original 4, of course: Georgia, Ohio State, Michigan, TCU. The game in Columbus this weekend is essentially a de facto playoff game because someone's going home after that. And then, of course,
LSU at 5.
And then
USC
6. Alabama at 7. Clemson at 8.
I am shocked Oregon didn't drop.
I'm gonna say this right now.
Oregon was 9. 9. It was 10.
Do you guys think LSU should be top 5 right now?
Yeah.
Do you think they've been worthy of it?
Yeah.
All right then. I don't know. I'm still having some suspects about them being at 5, but I mean, to be fair, they did beat Alabama. Not a very convincing defeat, but it was a defeat.
No, it was a ballsy win, which is what you need.
Ballsy wins, yes, but I mean, I don't know. I just don't feel convinced over them. But then I guess LSU is perhaps more worthy over.
Who would you have over them?
That's the only other thing. But I do think Oregon is still massively overrated at 9. So
But my thing is, if you have an issue at LSU at 5, who would you have over them?
That's
USC? If LSU and USC played right now, Jaden Daniels might have 7 touchdowns and a win.
well, with how bad that USC defense is, yes.
Honestly, dude, I'll be real with you. With the way Florida State's been playing, I would take Florida State over USC. Call me crazy, but I would.
USC is overrated. We'll be honest over here. They are pretty overrated.
They're going to have the number 1 pick in the draft next year, but that's all the hype they're getting right now.
USC?
Yeah, Caleb. Everybody's on the Caleb comps to Mahomes nonsense right now. So.
USC quarterbacks don't really pan out well in the NFL.
Well, I mean, it's Lincoln Riley. It's Lincoln Riley.
USC quarterback Sam Darnold starting this week for the Panthers.
He's starting.
He's not that good.
All right. So, Jordan, do you think that Caleb Williams would break the trend for USC?
No.
And follow the other Lincoln Riley's quarterback prospects? You don't believe in that?
Cowher's got issues right now. Cowher hasn't shown up since Modern Warfare came out, and Baker's getting benched.
Yeah, I don't think. I mean,
Jalen Hurts is the only NFL quarterback Lincoln's had that's winning games consistently.
I think he took a little bit of what Saban taught him and a little bit of what Lincoln
taught him.
Yeah.
Yeah,
he's the mix of both. Pure Lincoln,
Yeah, I'll be honest. Like,
plus, I mean,
sometimes I just feel like LSU is just not the team that you would think for a 5th seed. But I mean, I guess with like how weak every other division is this semester, or like, well, not this season, or it kind of does scream to you. Okay, maybe college football might be a bit weak, or maybe because Alabama's not as good and Clemson's not as good. I don't know. I'm quite curious what y'all think.
I mean, 2007, LSU was sitting there as a 2-loss team, and they still won the whole thing. They destroyed an Ohio State team that was like, I think, 1 loss or undefeated. So, I mean, this typically is where LSU is the most dangerous. Whenever it's a funny year, like LSU can be very dangerous.
I can see that.
2019 wasn't a funny year. 2019 was a shocking year.
Yeah, I wouldn't call that funny at all because
no, I'm referring.
You're talking about the 07 team, not the 19 team.
Okay, the 19 team. I was like, "There's no way you're talking about that, Jordan."
No,
like,
that was your dominance. I'm talking 2007 when LSU lost 2 games and found themselves in the BCS national title.
Well, then that would make more sense.
So, yeah, I feel like this is one of those types of situations. If LSU can get by Georgia, I doubt that'll happen.
I doubt that's happening as well.
D-Day. We want D-Day, guys. Come on.
I'm still waiting.
D-Day's getting a tweak because Tennessee lost.
I'm waiting for you to roll out this whiteboard. Or before we do that, or should we talk about should we talk about this guy's favorite thing that's happened?
Let's talk about that first because we know the whiteboard might take a while.
Oh, well, yeah. What we're talking about?
Wait. Hold on. First, we got to talk about because Willie Simmons just wrapped up his coach's show. So he already said it. A lot of guys have already expressed interest in wanting to come to FAMU, and the portal is already getting pretty heavy with FCS teams in D2 and D3 teams that have already concluded their seasons. But they wrapped up with a win, 41-20 in the Florida Classic. Got snubbed by the FCS Playoff Committee because their schedule was too weak. Although you have a 4-loss. Oh, I guess he'll be back.
Yeah, he'll be back. I think internet went out.
You have a 4-loss Montana team who lost 4 of their last 6 that got left out. So I don't understand how that works. But hey, I will honestly say I thought FAMU. I said it for the longest. I was like, this team's not an FCS playoff team. It was one of those situations, and I think Ace knows too, where I was hoping I wouldn't be right. But I mean, certain things just don't make sense. I don't get how you're 24th and you get left out of a 2014 playoff. And I don't get how you finish the season 20th and you get left out of a 2014 playoff.
That makes no sense to me, with all due respect. It don't make sense.
But I mean, Willie Simmons
Brian said it best. You lost to a Power 5 team who's ranked number 18th in the FBS rankings, top 25. You lost at a top 3 seed in the FCS playoffs in Jackson State.
Yeah,
And you didn't even have your full squad those 2 games.
exactly. No,
So-
that made no sense to me. That makes no sense to
it
me.
doesn't.
Unless they took that much out of the southeastern Louisiana game to not letting him back in, that's the only thing I can think of. If they want to try to make,
Honestly, I read a tweet from someone that covers Montana. The Montana Grizzlies got in because they forked up more money than anybody because they were not going to get in. They forked up a lot of money just to get in. Mind you, they've lost 4 of their last 6. They got handled by Montana State, 55-21.
yes, I got that pick right.
I know I got that one right too. But Willie Simmons also hinted at the fact that he's got a lot of guys coming back. He said the majority of that offensive line will be back in 2023, especially the ones that were injured. He said the only one that won't be returning is Brian Crawford, who's a senior that's joining the coaching staff. But overall, everyone's coming back. Xavier Smith is gone, of course. Isaiah Land's gone. A couple other guys are gone as well. So
How many more years did BJ Bowler got?
BJ Bowler's gone as well too, but his brother.
Oh, okay. You didn't mention him, so I was like, did he go or he's still there?
Yeah, no, he's gone too. Kendall Bowler will be back. Javen Morgan will be back. Winston Frazier will be back. A lot of experience. Isaiah Major's going to be back. Gentle Hunt's going to be back. He's having off-season ankle surgery. Jeremy Musa, of course, will be back, and I'm honestly anticipating he'll be better. They said Jamari Shareed will be back. So, and then you got a couple guys that are redshirted that didn't see the field this year either. So they said it was.
I'm more interested for FAMU's side of it. I would say you got to see who's going to be that number 1 guy. Now Xavier's gone.
Oh yeah, no, I've honestly said it. I was like, look, even Willie Simmons said he's like, we'll probably look to the portal to find a big play wide receiver, or hopefully someone like Kareem Burke, who's a true freshman that was redshirted, can step up. So we're gonna see what happens. I'm confident, and then you never know what's gonna happen in the SWAC with this latest drama that's happened. That's got that guy in the box below me doing cartwheels right now. He's acting
Let's
like
bring it up.
He's acting like
We
I
got the tab for it, or no?
Oh, I didn't type it up, but
we didn't do any new tabs. That's all right. We know what it is.
You can
type it up while you JPeeps, you bring it up for Flash. So Flash will talk while I type it up.
I'm trying to figure out why Flash acting like he don't know what I'm talking about. He on his phone acting like he don't know what I'm talking about.
He's in his own little world. He's dreaming of the day it happens.
What are you talking about?
Say it. No, see why you acting like that, Flash?
What's he talking about?
You know what I'm talking about.
I have a funny feelings about USF. Is it?
You know what I'm talking about.
Is it a USF joke?
You know what I'm talking about.
Does that?
Yeah, go ahead.
Well, you know what? This is an interesting topic to talk about. I'm not going to lie to you. But does Deion becomes a USF head coach? I don't know. Do you think Deion Sanders wants to be the USF next head coach, or do you think he wants to wait out for a Power 5 job if he even wants to leave HBCU football?
Go ahead, Ace. I'll give my piece last.
I'm curious.
Well, there's the piece where now USF shelves up the bags to secure the coaching staff, his boys up, like he said, how many ever weeks ago it was. Gotta get the boys secured first. And then you'd have to look at, all right, when's the stadium coming? Do you think he would stay until the stadium is done built? Which I think would be 26, 27 maybe.
I'll be real with you, Ace. That stadium should be built by now, and they still haven't even started it. So it's been pushed back so many times.
Confirmed that they're going to build it. But then
it's been confirmed for a while.
At least unless Auburn shovels him up a bag either, which is the only team I can see him this year maybe leaving for, he wouldn't have the gold mine that is Florida available to him for the taking right now. Because let's be real, FSU is probably the best team in Florida right now, and that isn't saying much because they don't exactly have a bunch of the local talent going there either. You'd have the entire state of Florida at your disposal, especially the Miami boys, especially the Bay Area boys.
If
Hey,
I think
Dion
UF
right
has
there.
has the majority of the local talent pool. If we're being honest, besides UCF, it's UF and
What I'm
UCF.
saying, if Dion come, all those guys who would be going to UCF or FSU, they're like, you'd be seeing Travis Hunter fall, but that's pipe. We're pipe dreaming if it happens, then he would come, but he's looking like he's gonna be a two-way guy. Then you have the Suns probably would go wherever he goes, and you're like,
This is what I want to say about USF. USF needs a guy that's willing to stick to the program and help them rebuild and stay there for when the rebuilding is done and try to keep the program stable. That's what USF needs. They need some sort of stability of winning. That's the only thing USF needs to worry about right now.
So
and stability of winning and local recruiting.
So what
State
if they
of Florida recruiting?
What if they picked up Tom Herman?
Tom Herman.
From that used to be at Texas.
I'm out.
No, the ex-Texas coach, please.
She said no more ex-Texas coaches.
That is like sloppy seconds of Power 5. We do not want that anymore.
Oh, okay.
Look what happens whenever they get sloppy seconds of Power 5 coaches. Look what happens to them. Look at Charlie Strong, for crying out loud.
I love
Chris Scott didn't look. Jeff Scott didn't look much better either. So I mean, this is what USF needs to find a guy that has passion for it. Do I think Dion could potentially bring the passion for USF? Maybe, maybe. He does have a lot of hype with him, and he could probably get the guys to come over to Tampa Bay. But for now, I'm just going to say I do not think Dion is the guy. But I won't be mad if they hire him, Maybe Dion will surprise me and may stay long term. Maybe USF would surprise me and give him the bag that he wants. Maybe so.
Look, I'll say it like this. Dion did say in a Twitter space with Uncle Luke and Willie Simmons leading up to the Orange Blossom Classic over the summer. He said, the only reason that I would entertain an interview for the sake of my assistants getting paid. There are some folks out there saying that, I don't care what it takes, give those assistants whatever they want. I'm going to just be real with you. There's a salary pay that USF can offer right now for the assistants that Jackson State just can't. I don't care how much money Jackson State digs up, they just can't match it. And USF has the donors to do it.
They have the donors, but the question is, which one of these Jackson State folks do you want? Which one of these Jackson State folks is going to fit for what you guys want to achieve?
It's not even
for the coaching staff. Boosters don't have much say in the coaching staff. They just want the hire for the head coach, and then the head coach picks the coaching staff, and it'll probably be the entire Jackson State staff.
Because if you get Dion, all those guys are coming with him. So you're getting Mike Zimmer, you're getting a Tim Brewster, both of those guys who have coached in the NFL and at the top level in college ball and have coached in New Year's Six Bowls and in Super Bowls.
Well, I'll say that if Dion does get those kind of guys to come over with those kind of expertise, then hey, then I think USF should go ahead and just throw the bag at Dion, throw the bag at his assistants.
I will say this.
I'll say this, but hang on. It would speed up the recovery process of whatever damage has went through from Charlie Strong firing everybody and USF being confused.
Actually, it turns that program around overnight, honestly. And I know a lot of people.
That's what I was gonna say. Now, I would say that is the favorite to win the AAC once UCF leaves next year.
Now, here's the other thing too. I know a lot of people want to say USF is a fool's job, and that is true because USF is a train wreck that is not worth a turd in a toilet. But I'm gonna be real with you.
Slow down. But before you say that, Jordan, just remember the school has recently announced a new president, and now it's all talk right now. But the new president seems to be more interested in winning, and that's why they cut out Jeff Scott after that Temple train wreck. So, listen, it's a new president at the school. Let's not make it harsh than it already is. You guys are
the passion's still there.
Still there. I'll say this, guys. I'll say this. You guys know I still think Mikey Kelly needs to go because of lack of you see all the men's sports and you're like, what good men's team does USF have? Besides women's softball and basketball, what good teams do they really have?
They've had a decent women's soccer team, men's
That's a
all
decent women's basketball team too.
and the men's baseball team has been good.
I said women's basketball and women's softball. That's the only two teams that I know that.
And men's baseball.
Are men's baseball in the playoffs or been making attention?
I don't know. I know they have the ace for the Rays. That's it.
Yeah. I mean, really, at that point, it's
Who opened out the All-Star game.
Well, let me ask you this. In your guys' opinion, based on what you've seen from USF, do you think Mikey Kelly deserves to stay or you think he deserves to go?
I'm not really up on the USF administration, to be honest.
I don't know anybody up in USF administration.
I'll bring this up. Women's basketball also got completely suspended for a season as well this past year,
we know.
I think. I just want to remind you guys of that. And when you've seen like how the men's basketball team ain't looking so hot, men's baseball apparently looks better than what Asa says. All the other teams, as far as I'm concerned, you don't hear about them, or they ain't that good. Something.
Well, you weren't about them back during the Jim Levitt era either. But I will say this. I'll say this.
All right, finish it up, and then I'm gonna pivot over to rivalry.
If they get Dion, I find it still hard to believe that he would leave with his sons both still in college plus Travis Hunter. I find it hard to believe. But if he left, I don't want to dare hear anybody out here in these Twitter streets or on these social media accounts. I'm going to sell out. He came in and did what he said he was going to do. If he leaves, then hey, he leaves. You can't fault a man for trying to secure the bag for his assistants.
It's North Carolina Central, right? That's the Celebration Bowl, right?
Yeah, North Carolina Central's meeting has already punched their ticket, even though they are Howard and NC Central are both co-champs. NC Central has a better record, so they're going.
So all we got to see is Jackson State beat them, and then I think it's fair game.
Yes.
If they lose the Celebration Bowl, I think he stays. But if they win, it opens up the can.
It does. It does. That's why I think it's critical for them to finish undefeated this season. It's critical.
That being said,
I'm like you. Even if they don't win it all, I feel like he might. If he does leave, he leaves.
Also, I think that whole situation with Mississippi probably rubbed him off too. What Mississippi's been going through, remember, with the water supply.
Oh yeah.
Brett Favre.
Oh,
Missouri.
He should be in jail.
Is it Missouri or Mississippi's Brett Favre?
Yeah,
I thought it was Mississippi.
That was Brett Favre.
It was Mississippi with Brett Favre?
Yeah,
so I'm saying there's like something probably rubbing them the wrong way,
Yeah, but I mean, like I said, we'll see. It's going to be an interesting.
I'm surprised that man is not in jail yet. Let's be real. He's
like I said, he should be in jail.
He should be in jail at the moment without bail. To be completely honest, for what he did, I just when the trial is starting, I don't know.
Ace, go ahead and roll out the your college football playoff scenarios. But
all right. Let's preview Michigan Ohio State first, and then we'll do it. Or we already talked enough about Michigan Ohio State to know what's coming.
Yeah.
Well,
I'll say.
I think Jake Corum is fine, right? I know he got hurt last week, but I think he's still fine, right?
Florida State's beating Florida this weekend. I'm calling it now. UCF's beating.
Yeah, Florida State is already
like
beating the brakes off of Florida. Let's just put it that way. They're gonna want to beat the brakes out of Florida. They want those Gators fans that's gonna pack Doak this weekend to go home crying. That's what they want to do. If you're a Florida State fan or you're a player, you want to go in with that anger and hatred.
I don't think
send them home crying.
I don't think it's gonna be that large of a contingent of Gator fans to be.
Hey, that's what I heard. That's what the rumor mill around my Twitter space has been saying to me. There's been a lot of Gators fans buying tickets. So, who knows?
So this whole Michigan Ohio State game is going to come down probably to the health of Blake Corum, because they don't know if he's going to practice yet, and if he doesn't practice, Harbaugh said he ain't playing. And that's the top running back. Well, not top running back. Well, Bijan Robinson probably the top one right now.
Mm-hmm.
And Ibrahim up in, I think, Indiana or Illinois, wherever he's at right now. Them two, and then Corum. If Corum's out, I think Ohio State steamrolls him. What do y'all think? for Ohio State, Michigan.
Say that again. If who was
So
that?
Quorum, he got hurt right against Illinois last week, but if he's and Harbaugh said if he misses the game, if he misses practice this week, he won't play, and they don't know if he's playing yet or not. So, I mean, if
That's
he
a running
misses
back,
that game,
right?
yeah,
I think honestly,
It would be.
that would be hard for him to miss that game.
I'll say this: if they miss him, that kind of piece, it does take away Michigan's chances of winning. I'll say that much because that guy's been the difference maker for Michigan. At least
I ain't
when
gonna say it's gonna take away the chances to win. I think it's gonna hinder the game plan a little bit, but I think one person in that type of situation can be the difference between you doing something smart with the play calling and you doing something dumb. Because the last time the game was really close in Columbus, Michigan did something. Well, actually, no. Michigan got robbed of a 4th and short, actually. So I think, you got to go in there and play a clean game at that point. You can't go in there and just, make dumb mistakes because Ohio State's going to capitalize off of those. So you got to go in there.
They will.
They're
But
saying Ohio State's preparing like if he's going to play, though. So it's not like they're not going to get caught off guard with it.
The other thing, too, is Ohio State hasn't forgotten that either. Ohio State literally has posters all around the facility that are reminding them of what happened last year. They started counting down in the offseason to when they would see Michigan again. They're not even worried about anything else except beating the daylights out of Michigan. And if you remember last year, Ryan Day said, if I get a chance to put 100 on them, I'm going to do it.
Well,
I'm preparing the board.
I'll say this. It's going to be a closer game than last year. And also we'll say these are like, this is the matchup that is waiting to happen. This is the big storm of college football of all season. This could potentially be the best game of the year. Potentially.
Of course, dude. This is a de facto playoff game.
And
this is the wild card.
It's determining who goes to the Big Ten championship.
Not just a Big Ten championship. College football playoffs, essentially.
Yeah. Exactly.
Now, not hypothetically, if Michigan or Ohio State, one of those teams loses, but say like whoever wins this game goes on and then loses in the Big Ten championship, then then one of those teams will be back. So but a lot is at the line for this game. I'll say, along with Big Ten week, it's just things you got to keep an eye out for. I feel like Ohio State is prepared. I think Ohio State takes it at the moment. But,
all right.
But I could see Michigan taking them out. But as of right now, my gut's leaning Ohio State as my pick.
Fair enough. All right, Ace, roll it. So
okay. All right. So as of right now, we're gonna have scenario A as it stands, right? Well, not obviously as it stands. We're gonna have USC. So number 1 will be Georgia. I'll just put UGA, so it's nice and easy to understand. UGA. Number 2. So who do you guys or you want to just put OSU UM?
Yeah, Ohio State or Michigan is number 2 after this weekend.
All right. Number 3, you guys want to put TCU or USC?
I'm putting TCU.
TCU.
The playoff.
I will say, I think TCU means the Big 12 championship.
Is SEA is so what happens in this?
This is scenario A, scenario B.
So what happens in each scenario?
And Doomsday.
So I think in this case you have to, because the playoff committee respects the Big 12 more than they do the Pac-12. So definitely TCU at 3.
TCU at 3
for now. And then
that U looks really bad. Holy crap!
I want to say if USC controls their destiny, and if assuming Georgia does take out LSU,
this is scenario A. So we're gonna have Georgia winning. It's gonna be the winner of Ohio State, Michigan, and TCU winning the Big 12 and USC.
In that case, you get USC and Georgia in the Peach Bowl, and then
that's gonna be a bloodbath.
And because Georgia's the number 1 team, so they're gonna draw that game to Atlanta. And then in the Fiesta Bowl out west, you're going to get Ohio State or Michigan against TCU.
That would be good.
I think Georgia.
I do want to point this out, and so let me point this out in the Pac-12 real quickly with USC, because hey, we may have some non-believers in USC and the Pac-12 as of right now. Hypothetically, a team like Washington, if they go on and win this weekend, go on to the Pac-12 championship. I think they are in the Pac-12 championship. If not, then I think they have the heads up over Oregon, right? I'm not even sure.
Ooh.
But Washington Huskies.
Oh,
I'm not even sure because they beat Oregon, so that's why I was wondering.
So as it stands right now with the Pac-12 standings, so the Pac-12 overall, it's just the top 2 rankings. So USC has already basically they punched their ticket. Oregon needs to win this weekend in order to, because they have the better conference record. Oregon needs to win this weekend against Oregon State in order to get there.
It doesn't matter if Washington wins against Wazoo or not; they have to.
Yeah, so
that would make sense because
a Washington win and an Oregon loss puts Washington in Pac-12 championship.
All right,
but yeah, scenario A, that's what I could see happening.
Yeah, USC.
All right.
Scenario A is assuming everything goes perfectly. Is that correct?
Yes. Assuming everything just stays put as is, that's scenario A.
Okay. Gotcha.
All right. Scenario B. Let's get some fun going. Watching now. The real fun will be if Doomsday is going to be our LSU winning it one.
Okay.
So that's a little spoiler going off there.
Scenario B, we still have Georgia at number 1.
It's going to be still Georgia, Ohio State, Michigan winner.
Okay.
And then we're going to talk about TCU losing.
Okay, so if TCU loses, that bumps USC to number 3. I mean, USC goes to number 3 in that scenario. And then unequivocally, that would put Alabama back in it at number 4.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Or
because
Clemson.
No, you're right.
Yeah, Clemson at 4.
Clemson
would you put the ACC champion with a 1 loss to Notre Dame over a 2-loss Bama with the losses against the number 10 Tennessee, assuming they're probably going to drop again with Hendon out, and a loss against probably going to end up being probably number 7 or number 8 LSU because they lost the SEC champion?
Yes, because Clemson would be the ACC champion. They're a conference champ. They deserve.
Well, here's the thing. Now, the SEC bias, if the college football committee is completely SEC biased, Alabama gets in. But if they use logic and fairness game, it'll be Clemson.
I'm gonna say.
All right, raise your hand if you want Clemson. Let's do some democracy. All right, Clemson is number 4 for this one.
This
marker's right out on me.
In terms of what's that word they like to use?
Chaos,
fairness, parity.
No. What's that word they use to describe your GPA and stuff? Your merit. They have the merit. They have the merit. They have the merit to get in.
But yeah, that scenario makes a lot of sense. And then on the outside looking in, I would say Alabama would be 5. Alabama would likely be 5, I think. And then maybe.
Boy, this marker real drying out.
6. LSU would probably be number 6 in that case. Now, scenario 3.
We're gonna say what USC and TCU lose the Big 12.
Okay.
Yeah, let's do that.
And Pac-12.
Yeah, LSU's not LSU. Georgia's number 1. Ohio State, Michigan, the winner of that is number 2. And then in that case, if USC and
TCU loses,
TCU lost.
Clemson goes.
We should have a scenario E, but the whiteboard's not big enough for a 5th one.
We can just think of one. Clemson goes to number.
You might need to share a screen and make an XL or something.
Yeah.
You're really
3. 4 becomes Alabama.
Yeah, at this point, Alabama would get more merit over Pac-12 teams over.
Well, I mean, Oregon's already got 2 losses too, but Oregon's already behind
But
Oregon would be 5th at that point, I think,
either Oregon or Washington.
because if
It all depends like who USC even plays in the Pac-12 championship. If it's Oregon,
right now I'm thinking it's Oregon. If Oregon and USC both meet in the Pac-12 championship and Oregon pulls that off, Oregon jumps to number 5.
Okay, how about this? This is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna put you guys in the background, so y'all gonna talk, but the people can see this better.
Okay.
what?
All right, trust me on this one. Nope, wrong person. No, why is that letting me do it? Oh man, it has Jordan as the first one, so for some reason it's just like.
Well, I'll say.
Oops.
Oh well, we're gonna just leave it
I mean,
like this.
unfortunately,
get a
Jordan might be
graphic
right.
thing.
It's gonna be Oregon over Washington because I do not see Oregon losing to Oregon State. Now, assumingly Oregon does like break apart and they lose to Oregon State, hey, I'll be there. I would love to see the chaos with Washington and USC. Which in that game, I would actually like to see Washington win because I do believe they are capable of taking out USC.
Now for Doomsday,
I guess that
You
could be
know
a
what's
doomsday
up?
one.
Number 1,
It's
Ohio
Georgia.
State, Michigan winner.
yeah, Georgia falls to number
2 or 3. 2 or 3.
3.
Yeah,
Georgia-
LSU would be 2.
So,
Yeah,
so what scenario is this? If Georgia loses the
SEC champion.
SEC championship.
okay,
And then at that point right there, Clemson jumps up to 4. Or are we saying
Clemson or USC?
Clemson.
does USC win the Pac-12 championship in Doomsday?
No,
That's up to you guys.
No. Okay, so if USC loses as well, then Clemson goes to 4.
All right, let's just assume all the favorites to win their championship loses on Doomsday.
Okay, so that means then Clemson loses.
TCU, USC, and Georgia all lose.
Does
But
Clemson,
that also means Ohio State would lose, or
D-
Michigan loses the Big Ten.
So what does that mean? Does that mean
if
does
LSU
Clemson lose or no?
wait,
this situation?
wait.
All right,
Okay.
Doomsday would be the underdog wins the championship games.
Okay, so in that case, that means Ohio State or Michigan all lost. So
That's like Oregon's only way of getting in, assuming they make the Pac-12 game.
in that case, so LSU goes to 1. Georgia falls to number 3.
Yeah,
Only 2.
Number 2.
that would still be the
Well,
Big
if you wanna
12
put-
teams, right?
Also,
I put-
Clemson lost 2.
Number 2 because they're a conference champion at that point. Oregon.
Yeah,
Number 3 would be Georgia,
that's assuming Oregon wins this weekend, though.
and then
And number 4,
4
Ohio State, Michigan winner. Even with the Big Ten loss.
Yeah, the Big Ten champion because Kirk Herbstreit has power to where the Big Ten champion will get in.
Especially.
So in that
There
case,
we go.
you get Georgia-Oregon rematch, and you get an LSU against Michigan.
All favorite champion winners. All favorite champion winners.
Honestly, Doomsday actually looks fun, but I'll say this: Oregon's going to get slapped.
again.
Yeah, they're going to get slapped.
Again.
And LSU is going to be that team that's going to be getting slapped by that Big 12.
I wouldn't go that far.
All right, I got to take out the penalty
You know what?
talk.
You know what? Maybe
Give me a second.
you know what? Maybe I am still thinking of the LSU that played Florida State. Maybe I'm
There we
still
go. I gotta
thinking
take
of
out the-
that.
I'm gonna be honest with you at this point, but the people debating that whole LSU Florida State game at this point now, Florida State is not the same team that they were the first week of the season. They are much better. LSU is not the same team they were the first week of the season. They are much better. Both those teams next season, when they meet each other in Orlando, are going to be top 10 teams.
All right, what do you guys think about Doomsday?
I like Doomsday.
Doomsday actually looks fun. Now,
I like Scenario C too.
Scenario C.
Scenario C does look kind of fun, though. You get Georgia, Alabama, and Ohio State, Clemson. That would be really fun.
So okay, and in Doomsday, if
Now,
assuming if Oregon doesn't make it in the playoffs, then what? If we
I'm
were
gonna
to
put UGA, OSU,
I'm curious.
UM, USC.
I guess if Oregon doesn't make it, I guess Alabama
TCU.
slips in again. I guess in this situation.
I feel like in this case scenario, because they're not going to want the two SEC teams to kill each other early on in the
They would
semifinal.
put what?
For scenario C, they would put Alabama at 3 against the Big Ten champ, and then Clemson against Georgia. And
Yeah, probably do.
But that would be just an SEC college football championship for the ratings.
That's what ESPN would want.
So Jordan,
Give me a second. We're fixing that right
Ace,
now.
please.
That makes sense.
What's up, Flash?
So if all things go loose and Oregon does not make it, then would Alabama just skip them? I guess at that point and make the playoffs.
Say that again.
If Oregon doesn't make the Pac-12 championship in the doomsday scenario, would Alabama just take the spot then? I guess.
Yes, because Alabama plays in a tougher conference.
That's probably what's going to happen.
But would you have Alabama at 2 or Georgia at 2? I think you would put Georgia at 2.
Georgia would be more deserving.
Ohio State, Michigan winner, even though they're going to have the loss on the championship at 3, and then Bama, since they're a 2-loss team without a conference championship and 2 losses, it would be 4.
At that point, I still think for Doomsday, I still think Alabama would get left out because you have a 1-loss Georgia at that point, you got a 1-loss Oregon, and a 2-loss LSU who beat Alabama.
No, I'm saying like if what Flash said, and Oregon doesn't even make the Pac-12 championship, and USC still loses to probably Washington at that point.
Oh, then yeah, Alabama's in.
Yeah, but I think they would probably be 4, while Georgia would be 2, and Ohio State, Michigan would be 3.
I mean, here's the thing. In the sad case of Washington, I mean, they lost to Arizona State. That's like absolutely no excuse for that one. If they had won at Arizona State, they would have had a chance of making the college football playoffs, but they did not. So, unfortunately, and besides, Indiana, if Washington did play these kind of games, their defense is going to get swallowed up really badly. To be completely honest with you, Washington's defense is very suspect.
Facts.
All right, so we need to figure out how we can do graphics on this thing so we can make a graphic for this.
This was honestly, I want to say, less stressful this time.
Yeah, because we didn't have Drunk helping us out.
We didn't.
Who's Drunk?
Drunk's the friend in chat, man. I don't know where anybody is.
I don't know where he is either. I hope he doesn't think we're live tomorrow night. But yeah, Drunk honestly, I love the fact that I found out that Drunk gets drunk off of tequila.
G-Fuck. He doesn't do colored.
He can't do
colored drinks because he texts his ex.
Yeah. I told him, I was like, dude, we need to get together and drink some Hennessy. Anything if possible. But he said he doesn't do dark, so I guess not. But,
you could get the Hennessy White. That's what it's called, right?
It's still brown, though.
Yeah, it looks like piss water.
No, honestly, don't not until you drink it, honestly.
Well,
that's all
I
I'm
mean.
All right. I think he probably thinks we are on tomorrow. Now that you said it.
I hope he doesn't think that. But
we didn't even. All right, so
finale.
Let's talk about the heart of college football, guys.
What's the heart of it? What's it?
Rivalry week. We didn't really talk much about it.
I thought we already talked about it.
No, you only skimmed the Georgia game and the FSU game. That's really it.
Well, we talked about Michigan and Ohio State. Look, I say it like this. I'm still trying to find my way to the war on I-4 Saturday night.
Bama's going to beat Auburn, so we don't even got to worry about that battle.
Well, no, slow down there,
UCF's going to beat USF, not even a question.
No, FSU's going to slow down on the Alabama-Auburn part, all right? Auburn's
Alabama by 20 minimum.
Wait, where's this game at? Jordan here, or is it in Alabama?
It's in Tuscaloosa.
Yeah, then never mind then. I mean, I wanted to give Cadillac Williams a shot if it was in Jordan Hare, but
it'll be good for. That's why I said Alabama by 20 minimum. I like Cadillac Williams and everything and stuff. I for my own personal reasons, I have history with Cadillac Williams. My family does, but I think he'll have them ready and they'll compete for like a quarter or maybe a half. But I think Alabama's pissed off. Alabama's gonna run away with that. And plus, they need They need to start winning convincingly to
Here's the thing.
to ensure they do a scenario like what Ace has written up.
That they really do need. They do need to go crazy to win, but all hell's break loose. If Auburn wins that game, what would you guys say if it did happen? Because Alabama's been pretty suspect this year overall.
If Auburn wins that game, Alabama's coming to Tampa for the Outback Bowl. I'm telling you now.
I mean, I don't think the Bama players would mind, but I think the only thing is that they're gonna beat the shit out of whoever played in the Outback Bowl.
If Alabama,
but second string players too. Let's put that. Let's start that with second string players. That's what's gonna happen.
Alabama loses and they end up in the Outback Bowl. I will literally buy myself a ticket and I will be there.
You know what? I thought about it. So scenario A, everybody pretty much knows that's like if nothing changes. I am gonna make a scenario E.
ABC.
Trust me, I know what I'm doing on the scenario E. Yet.
With all due respect, Ace, we haven't even talked much about Rivalry Week.
All right, what do you want to talk about in Rivalry Week? Hurry up.
Tulane and Cincinnati. Who you like?
Not sure think about that. Tulane.
Actually, I think Tulane's favored by 14.
I think Tulane's the better team in that one for sure. UNC and North Carolina State, that's going to be UNC. UCLA versus Cal, that's a blowout. Let's see. South Carolina versus Clemson. You think Clemson's going to beat the brakes out of South Carolina after that hot week they had against Tennessee?
Yes.
I hope Clemson do, because otherwise people are going to be laughing at them and call them frauds.
Shane Beamer's
I'm going to call it scenario L for LSU, but we don't have all the conference championships losing. This is exclusively if Georgia loses to LSU.
If Georgia loses to LSU, Georgia still gets in as a one-loss.
Yeah, they still.
I know they get in, but we're gonna have to go through input. So what? Ohio State, Michigan won, right?
Yes, LSU would go to number 2.
Why we're doing this?
Because we need to figure out if it's USC getting in or not. Or TCU.
If TCU loses.
So, okay, if TCU wins by, let's just say, a field goal, while you have USC steamrolling the Pac-12 championship.
I'm telling you right now, if LSU wins, Georgia still gets in. So that's 2 SEC teams going. Somebody between TCU and USC is getting heartbroken and going to be destined to either the Cotton Bowl or the Rose Bowl. If TCU gets left out, they're going to the Cotton Bowl. If USC gets left out, they're going to the Rose Bowl to play against.
Speaking of TCU, guys, does TCU beat the brakes out of Iowa State, or Iowa State is going to break their hearts? Never mind. Iowa State is terrible. They're 4-7. It's not happening.
TCU's winning that. But TCU.
But who's the Big 12 championship? Oklahoma State, right?
TCU is going to play against Kansas State at the moment because Kansas State.
Oh yeah, that's right.
It's going to be an all-purple affair once again.
I for some reason the way TCU struggled against Baylor and that last second win, like, oh boy, if Kansas State has a legitimate shot.
They do. And they're gonna
okay, just for the sake of easiness, let's just say TCU wins. Do you have LSU or TCU at 2?
But you already said LSU beats
Georgia.
LSU's at 1.
Do you have TCU at 2? Ohio State's 1.
Ohio State or Michigan is 1. I put TCU at 2, and then I put LSU at 3.
Georgia's at 3.
No, LSU's at 3.
No, LSU's got to be above Georgia.
Yeah, and then Georgia's at 4. And then
rest in peace, Ohio State or Michigan.
Yeah, Ohio State or Michigan.
So what's this scenario? What happens in this scenario, Ace?
This is just exclusively if LSU beats Georgia. And it's not a full-blown doomsday. It's just a partial doomsday.
Yeah, it's definitely LSU.
It's called Scenario L.
Ohio State or Michigan. And then definitely TCU. Yeah, and then LSU, UGA, Ohio State.
Scenario L.
Georgia.
Ohio State, Michigan, TCU, LSU, Georgia. USC.
That TCU LSU game would take place in the Fiesta Bowl. That Ohio State Michigan game takes place in Atlanta, which would be dumb for Ohio State or Michigan to do, but they're going to do it because they're closer to that.
All right. I do have a question for you guys of this rivalry week. Oregon versus Oregon State. Does Oregon State actually take out Oregon or any chance at all? Because
Honestly,
there is some strong belief it's going to happen. I'm
there's
one of
been
those people.
some years where Oregon was expected to. We have oh, there he is. TCU.
Hey, my
Drug!
boy back. That's what I said. TCU should have lost last week. All right, Drunk. This is all the scenarios except for the usual one that's standing right now. Obviously, the winner, Ohio State, Michigan, would be number 2. You would have TCU at 3, and who do we say was 4? Alabama, Clemson or USC? USC was number 4 in that scenario, the original one.
The original one.
The original.
Yeah,
one.
scenario A.
The original one's not up right now.
No,
I know.
that's scenario L.
Yeah. Okay.
TCU gets put out first college football game. Yeah, I agree. I think Jaden Daniels steamrolls.
Yeah. Oh, I got rid of that too quick. That's my bad. Yeah, TCU gets blown out in their first college football playoff game. Yeah, I think so too.
And
Hey, Drunk, what you think about Doomsday?
LSU, Oregon, Georgia, Ohio State, Michigan.
That's if all Oregon State. No, Oregon, not Oregon State.
No, he's saying because he's talking about the Oregon State game.
Oh yeah.
Oregon State ain't been decent since Steve Jackson.
Yeah, it's like a long time ago.
I mean, what's Oregon State record right now? They're 8-3.
I'm praying for Doomsday. Ain't everybody praying for Doomsday?
I would enjoy Doomsday.
I think everybody would win if we got Doomsday. LSU, Ohio State would be really good, I think, or Michigan.
We need to screenshot this picture again just so we can
Okay, but we need to Jordan or JPeeps and Flash. Both of y'all leave. I'm gonna kick both of y'all out, and I'm gonna put myself in the solo. And y'all.
Well, hang on, guys. Before you get carried away with that, I'm gonna tell you right now. Oregon State's current losses. Their only loss are to USC at USC, Washington. No, yeah, Washington. Oh my God, is this USC?
You're struggling here. Come on out.
So the only losses is USC, Utah, and Washington. Those are their only losses at the moment.
So two quality opponents and one team they should have beat.
Oh, that Utah team.
Jordan, get ready to.
Who's that one team? Who's that one team that
the whiteboard needs its own mic? All right. JPeeps, get that picture going in the back. All right, we good? Add both back.
Yeah, we're good. That makes.
Okay, so
I
Jordan,
need to figure out how to do the graphics.
Shut up, Ace, for 1 second, please.
All right, Flash, preach your rivalries.
I'm just asking Jordan, who's that one team that you thought Oregon State should have beat?
Utah.
Well, I have bad news for you, Jordan. That Utah game was heavily Utah. It was 42-16 Utah. That was a bit of a beating.
Washington's beating Washington State. Move on.
I would not count out the Cougars yet. They've been pretty well as well. Washington State Cougars only lost to Oregon by 3. And
cool.
They lost to Utah 21-17. This one more. No. How's Washington?
They were Texas.
Washington 7-4. Washington's gonna roll them.
Yeah, Washington should roll them, but at the same time, Washington's defense sucks.
Washington's winning that game.
Yeah, they should win.
Oregon's gonna win that game Saturday too.
Oh, let's not say Oregon is going to be winning that game. All right, Oregon State is really a toss-up at the moment. That's why I'm concerned.
I don't think Oregon State's got. I think Bo Nix just when it really matters, he's kind of floppy. But when it doesn't really matter, it's gonna be a rivalry game, so it kind of matters. But it's not like all the stakes are on the game kind of game. You'll be fine.
Well, here's the thing. It's all the stakes on for Oregon because if they lose this game, they have no shot regardless. If they win this game, they're going to the Pac-12 championship. So in a sense, this is Oregon's big game.
Hey, Drunk, put in the comment section if it's the SEC championship ends up being USC, Oregon. Who do you got
Pac-12.
Pac-12 championship.
for the Pac-12? What did I say?
You said E SEC.
Dummy. All right, so
There we go.
So is it USC Oregon or USC Washington? Oregon gets in if they beat Oregon State this weekend. If Oregon State wins this weekend, it's going to be Washington in the Pac-12 championship. That is Ace question, drunk.
So technically a win and you're in scenario.
Pretty much. It's gonna
That's
be
why I said. That's why I said I think this game does matter a bit more than you think. The thing is Bo Nix is going to crumble.
I don't think he's going to crumble.
I don't think it's going to crumble.
I'd be worried about the following week if he crumbles, because Oregon, the last 2 years, has blown their chances in a Pac-12 championship game. USC.
Jordan, I mean, here's the thing.
USC easy. That UCLA game showed me they got heart. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
That's just for the doomsday one because we have the favorites losing. Caleb Williams about that. Oh crap. Yeah, Caleb Williams about that.
I think Michael Penix is better. Yeah, look at Jordan's eyes.
I think Michael Penix is better than Will Levis.
Is it because he went to
Tampa Bay?
Is it because he went to Tampa Bay Tech?
No, I was just saying that as a biased Tampa guy. That's all.
We can figure. You know,
Hey,
all right.
you'll have to root for your local guys that are going to make it big because, I mean, listen, if Penix runs it again next season and Washington does good, he's going to be Heisman candidate if he does run it again. So I just want to say that.
I mean, I'm also a very honest person in this case.
You guys don't believe that. If Washington only loses one game and those stupid games,
they lose.
I have one more question to pose for college football before we move on, because I know we've been doing a whole hour on college football. But so someone posted this question, and I want to get your thoughts. If you had a pick for the draft, you were a GM, who are you taking, Will Levis or Anthony Richardson? I say Richardson, even though I call him Walmart Jaden Daniels.
I mean,
I take none of them.
You have to pick one.
It depends on.
Gotta pick one.
Richardson. I don't think Levis is better than Richardson, with all due respect.
Who else is on the board?
Yeah, I would not pick either one of them. Only a
Sam Hartman and Grayson McCall. There you go. And a torn knee Hendon Hooker at 26.
I'd take a torn knee Hendon Hooker.
Sadly, I would wait for Bryce Young.
Bryce Young is this year.
Well, then I go for Bryce Young, or I'm going for a D lineman, or a linebacker, or a something generational with that high of a pick, Ace. I did want to say this about
Smart
man.
We said the same.
We're all taking the one leg Hendon Hooker going to be back probably September, October probably, because Jameson tore his in mid-January, and he didn't come back. He's now coming back in November.
Well,
that's 11 months.
It depends on how successful the surgery is, and it depends on how intense and how much progress he makes with the ACL recovery with therapy. So a lot of that factors into it. Plus, really, the timetable of when he starts running again too. They say specifically it's not really 9 months it takes to recover from an ACL tear. It takes about a year to really gain the confidence back. But if he feels like he can go in 9 months, 9 to 10 months.
Okay, so he's 24. So his birthday is January. So he will be 25 next year for his NFL year.
Mm-hmm.
That's older than Lamar. It's a gamble. But I would still take probably Hooker over both of them.
Exactly.
Because generally quarterbacks coming off ACLs are somewhat better now than they were before.
You got a point.
Albeit only Joe Burrow really has. We barely got to see James before the back took him out and the foot.
I mean, I'll be honest with you. I think Jameis is a better quarterback than most of these quarterbacks coming up in this draft.
Imagine tearing your ACL in your last game, Spencer Rattler.
Well,
yeah, that's brutal.
That is brutal. Spencer Rattler of all quarterbacks dropping 63 is just what the.
6 touchdowns. Yeah.
All right, guys, I got to dip out.
Well,
My
before
battery's
you dip out, do you think?
I make it quick.
Okay, Spencer Rattler dropping 63. Do you think Spencer Rattler repeats his performance against Clemson, or you think Clemson's just going to shut him out and just ruin their night?
Clemson better come ready to play because Shane Beamer's starting to figure it out slowly but surely. But I still think Clemson wins.
I still think Clemson wins, but
Shane Beamer's starting to show out and get his confidence, so they better get it together.
Definitely.
All right, JPeeps, thank you for tonight.
Thank you for coming
on. Rest. We're gonna probably just do a quick NFL recap stuff preview for Thanksgiving.
Thank you for coming on.
Drunk, you pour up some vodka for me. I'll take care.
Drunk, please come on Tuesday, man. It's much more fun with you here. Please. Oh my gosh, my dog.
All right, I am gonna switch it on over to the NFL.
I do want to say this about the Pac-12. I do think it's quick. I do think that is a completely misunderstood conference. I do think. I think the Pac-12 this year has been way more competitive in years past, whereas it's no longer, a top-heavy conference. There are some bad teams in the Pac-12, but I mean, there's a lot of good teams that make the conference interesting. When you look at Washington State, you look at Washington, Oregon, Oregon State, USC, UCLA. I mean, it's a good sign for things to come in the Pac-12. It's not as a watered-down, run-down conference as you guys would think it is. It does need to give more respect.
I gotta ask JPeeps for that Miami Vice shirt for you, Drunk. I'll have to ask him after the show. I'll text him out and we'll find out. Don't worry, I got you.
Screenshot it.
I'll go on the show on my phone and get it. Take a picture. Give me a second. Gotta go on the phone and get it.
All right. What did I miss this past weekend of NFL? There was no Ace this weekend. I didn't work too much, so I did not pay attention to any NFL this week. So Ace, tell me what the hell happened?
All right. Buffalo's playing back-to-back games in Detroit. One as a home team and one as an away team. 1-1. We're gonna see if they could put an end to the Red Hot Lions. Those Lions won 3 straight, man. And they're getting Jameson Williams back soon.
Who did Buffalo play last week in Buffalo?
The Brownies. Yeah, Drunk. We're gonna be honest too. Yeah, we both.
Georgia's repeating. Georgia is what we think Alabama should be at the moment. That's what I view Georgia as. And they showed it to me against that.
Drunk said it 2 weeks ago. He said Georgia's now Alabama, and LSU's now where Georgia is, and Bama's now where Auburn is.
Well, I'll say this right now. Georgia is what I saw Georgia dismantle South Carolina like nothing, and I saw second stringers out there outballing their first stringers. That's when I knew Georgia was going to repeat. And people were laughing at me saying, "Oh, Tennessee's going to beat them. Going to beat them. You're crazy, Jay." So I just want to say that.
All right, Drunk. I'm gonna tell you this: your family gonna see you Thanksgiving night, because guess what? Prime time, Kirk Cousins, baby. You know New England's gonna steamroll them, albeit the offense is gonna be garbage for New England. That defense is gonna probably put 15 total points on their own.
Ace,
so we ain't gotta worry about that. Prime time, Kirk Cousins gonna sell like always. So your family
Ace. So you're telling me primetime Kirk Cousins is going to sell back-to-back games? Is that what you're telling me?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, I agree. I think primetime Kirk Cousins show up.
Who did primetime Kirk Cousins show up against last week?
He is only good against 1 o'clock games. Outside of 1 o'clock games, he is garbage.
All right, who did Kirk Cousins play last week? I forgot. Ace.
The Cowboys at 4.
The what?
And
the Cowboys.
He played the Cowboys at 4:25. That game got switched over to Bengals Steelers in the third quarter because the Cowboys were up 37-3.
The Bengals and the Steelers. Did the Bengals win at least that game?
Yeah, that was 37-30. That game was always good. Primetime Kirk Cousins over PBS.
PBS back, bro.
I think Matt Judon's gonna have like 2 sacks and someone's gonna get a pick 6.
So who's gonna be worst? Matt Patricia, the offensive coordinator, or primetime Kirk Cousins? That's my question.
I think Ramondre Stevenson at least gets the Patriots to score. Albeit that's not good for me because I'm playing Ramondre Stevenson this week. But I still got the Patriots winning that game. I don't trust primetime Kirk Cousins.
Are the Browns cooked this year? Yeah, it's too late for Deshaun Watson to change anything. It's
Yeah, the
too
masked
late.
man coming next week after they're gonna lose to the Bucks, make the
And-
Bucks look good.
And you know what? He's still probably clapping something out there. Someone's
Well,
giving
he
it to
doesn't
him.
clap. He likes to slide.
That's
Let me see
rapey.
myself out.
That's rapey. That's really rapey, but it's accurate. All right. So, anyways, so who are my Thanksgiving games, Mr. Ace?
You have the Lions and the Bills. Early game. Then you got the game of
What?
whoever wins it will be getting Odell Beckham Jr. and the Cowboys and the Giants. Giants lost Wandale Robinson again, so they're
I
back
do
down
not
to
think-
Kenny Galladay having to see snaps.
Look at me. Odell's not going back to New York. He's done with that franchise. Fuck the Giants. That's what Odell thinks of the Giants right now. I do not see that happening. Don't put it like that.
One.
You're more likely to see him in Buffalo at this point, to be honest, because of how
Nah,
bad
it's
that
between the
Giants
Cowboys and the
organization
Giants,
is.
so it's like
The Cowboys.
it does seem like it's between the Cowboys and the Giants.
Oh,
The Cowboys are openly recruiting this guy. It's like, holy crap.
I think the Bills have a better chance than both of them, with all due respect, from what I'm hearing. I think he's going to the Bills.
He's not. I don't even think the Bills have gotten even. I don't even think he's meeting the Bills now, but we shall see.
I heard that the Bills are heavily interested in him, and I heard that it's pretty close.
Yes, I agree. I think the Lions Bills game is going to be the highest scoring game and the more fun game out of every game this week. I have like 3 guys in that game for fantasy purposes, so I'm going to be watching that game while cooking. The Cowboys Giants game, yeah, I want it to be competitive because I need CeeDee Lamb to get the points, but I have a bad feeling it's going to be another blowout, and the man's going to only have like 9.5 points.
Have the Cowboys gotten way better out of nowhere or something since Dak came back, or what happened?
No, they've gotten better because they figured out Tony Pollard's better than Zeke, even though Zeke's getting touchdowns by the goal line. And they're giving Tony Pollard more touches, and it's showing up now where I'd be... You can say with this straight face, Tony Pollard's a top 12 running back in the NFL.
Oh, yeah.
Not just in fantasy, I'm talking about in actual NFL.
Do you agree with Drunk that the Giants are going to get blown out, or you think the
Bruh, Micah Parsons and that Cowboys, I know I've been giving hell to Trayvon Diggs, but he has shut down both Jamar Chase and Justin Jefferson.
That is correct. But
I think combined between the two of them, they have under 70 receiving yards total.
But Danny Dimes is, but they're now asking
Darius
Danny
Slayton
Dimes
ain't
to
got
turn the
nothing
ball.
on them, so watch Darius Slayton just bust Trayvon Diggs. He's gonna jump the route and get burned deep, and it'll be like a 72-yard touchdown. I just feel that be the only score the Giants get, and probably Saquon busts one, probably like 50 yards, and that's the only two.
Well, how about this? If the Cowboys I see last week play, it's gonna be the Cowboys, but
that's what I'm saying.
But it could go Giants too. Let's just not.
The non-1 o'clock Kirk Cousins is so bad. It really is so bad. I don't know what happens. It's just they got beat in every phase of the game, and it's just like, woo. I mean, Brett Maher hit 2 60-yard field goals, man. Like, Cowboys just had it rolling that Sunday. Almost said it yesterday. But that Cowboys, I think they got a shot against Philadelphia, and that I think it was like week 16 they put each other. I gotta check that now, but I'm sure. I think next time Cowboys Eagles play in Dallas, I am taking the Cowboys in that game. Eagles got me suspect right now.
Alrighty, so next we
got some questions to be asked about the Eagles.
Eagles, who those damn? Oh, they're playing Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, the Eagles get the Cowboys Sunday night. Not the Cowboys, the Packers Sunday night. Watch Christian Watson get another 2 touchdowns, and I still can't trade him for anybody in fantasy.
So what if
week 16 I was right.
I'll give you Travis Kelce for Christian Watson and a solid running back.
Not in that league. I don't have Christian Watson in that league.
Oh.
Yeah, actually, you're not crazy, dude. You're not crazy. Cowboys defense looks Super Bowls.
They've been looking better until Trayvon Diggs fall apart. That's what happens. Because remember earlier this season, people were questioning Trayvon Diggs or something like that.
No, the scary part with Trayvon is he's not getting the picks, and the Cowboys defense is still good. He's not jumping the routes anymore as much as he did before. I mean, Allen Lazard, I don't even think was he didn't cover Allen Lazard the play that Lazard broke free in overtime, and he didn't cover Christian Watson. He had Lazard most of that game, except until overtime when he went over to Watson, and that's when Lazard started to cook. So he's been pretty much a wide receiver, a racer, so that's what you want to see. And then you got Lawrence and Parsons just wrecking people, but we got to keep an eye out on the Parsons ankle. As long as it holds up, I think the Cowboys should be fine.
All right. Any other cool games we could talk about? Oh, we
stomping down the Cardinals.
We have. Oh, I got a good game for you. The Broncos and the Panthers, guys. That's gonna be a fun game to watch.
Hey, Drunk, what team do you root for? I'm actually curious for the NFL. What team do you root for? I want to know. And the other guys in the watching the show, going to hop in the chat. We we kind of have fun with this kind of stuff. But
we got the Bears and the Jets.
Broncos.
That's gonna be a fun
Broncos Panthers game. God, I feel so bad for anybody who has to watch that game Sunday. Like, oh boy, that is gonna be a brutal game. Whoever has to watch that game.
Maybe I think the NFL needs the thing like how soccer works, where if a team plays good, to go up to a better league, and the team plays bad, you send them down.
I don't know what's going to send them down to the XFL.
The Jets.
Nah, you could send Zach Wilson, but not the Jets. The Jets' defense is good. That Zach Wilson, oh boy. Now, I will say this.
Is it time?
Been talking about
do they bring back elite Joe Flacco? Is that what's happened? Are they going to bring back the elite quarterback?
I ain't done with my sentence. I was saying, Jets talking about they might bench Zach Wilson. No, they bring in Joe Flacco. Fire the cannons on Garrett Wilson, fantasy playoff hero. When I say fire the cannon, I mean, oh my God, that's going to be to the moon.
Rams was my team, but I left my city like a hooker in the middle of the night, so I got no team. I remember when Indianapolis Colts say, "Hey, St. Louis, Indiana ain't that far."
I'm a free agent fan. Hey, ain't nothing wrong with that.
Wait, BJ. I remember when that happened, and the Colts say, "Hey, St. Louis fans, you guys can come root for us now." And they showed a map saying it was like only like 60 miles or something. I don't know how far Indiana is from St. Louis, but it wasn't too far. So,
I mean, Indianapolis got their own issues right now. Like Nick Sirianni saying, "Hey, that win was for Frank Reich." Like I know Indianapolis did Frank Reich dirty. Nick Sirianni was Frank Reich's assistant as the offensive coordinator. Man pissed that you fired the man for no reason, and you scapegoated him. What do you think happened? I mean, Indianapolis looked like they should have won that game, and that's why I have concerns about Philadelphia. They needed some Jalen Hurts magic. AJ Brown can't catch a ball for some reason. I got Marshall.
All right, guys.
We need to bring a team back to St. Louis. Let's make it happen, Drunk. We got to bring back a team to St. Louis. Because, I mean, was it the Battlehawks for XFL? Back when the XFL was going, they had the Battlehawks. And that, as bad as that dome was, that thing was packed to the brim.
Oh, so they're like OKC in a way of NFL, I guess. Small town with big
St.
fans.
Louis has become what Seattle is for basketball.
Oh. No, but I mean, when they had the team, they had all the fans packing up to the brim. Like how Oklahoma City does.
Oklahoma City still has a team. Oklahoma City hasn't lost a team, is my point.
No, but I'm talking about when they had the team. They always fill up the stands. That's what I'm saying. Who are the Battlehawks?
That's XFL.
Oh.
Man's just confused. Ain't know what he's talking about nowadays. Yeah, back to Zach Wilson and Garrett Wilson, the whole thing there. So I would fire the cannons on Elijah Moore, fire the rockets on Garrett Wilson and Michael Carter. All the Jets offensive players, just fire the cannons back right now for them if Joe Flacco comes in.
Wait, Ace,
yes, 2022, and I'm saying that. That's saying something.
Ace, does Deshaun Watson come back this week or is next week? I'm serious.
Back next week.
Oh, it's not this week. Okay, so he won't be playing
It's
Tommy
next
Boy.
week.
He avoided Tommy Boy, that's for sure.
He's
Ravens
back week
versus-
14. Is it week 14 or 13? No, it's
This-
11 game suspension, so he's back week 13 because they already had the bye. So yes, week 13. He's back.
So there's
Hey,
Ravens and
hopefully he
Jaguars.
saves Kareem Hunt's fantasy value. That's not happening.
Oh, Raiders and the Seahawks. Geno's gonna look like prime. I don't know who you want to say. Who Geno Smith will look like this week? Oh my god.
Yeah, but he also got, I think, season high in targets. So the dude does not want to be there. Him and Tony both, I don't know, they just got drafted there and they did not want to be there.
Elijah Moore.
I mean, Tony looked good in Kansas City before the hamstring popped again with his rubber band self. So who knows? But
Elijah Moore. What? Who he's on? The Chiefs or?
that's the one who did the dog peeing thing and caused Ole Miss to game. Back in college.
I forgot about that. I did not know he's that much of a cancer.
That's how you should know the red flags existed with him. Just saying.
Well,
Just saying.
hey, so wait, so who he plays for now?
He's on the Jets. Why are you so confused?
The Jags?
No, my God, the Jets. I need to get a wheelchair and some white hair wig for you and say you're a geriatric or what?
Geriatric. Oh my god. Okay, so Saints and you said the Saints and the 49ers. You're praying for the
that's gonna
49ers
be like a
beat down.
40-0 game, and then Andy Dalton will have 2 touchdowns. Like, hey, the man's still good, guys. Let's go, Andy Dalton.
That's what's gonna happen. Dennis Allen will go out and say, Andy Dalton is my quarterback. He's my favorite gingerhead. And guess what? He's gonna lead us to wins, guys. Look at me. I'm Dennis Allen. And I believe in white supremacy.
Oh God. All right. I didn't say that. Back to the thing with the Dalton. So I mean, he was 21 of 24 this week. He only had 3 incompletions. That is probably the most deceiving stat line you can look at because the amount of 3 and outs that team had, the amount of missed throws he had, well, not like missed throws, but like he had throws where the receiver had to make a crazy catch to catch it. And then he had a couple good throws, but then he also had some dumb throws. And then he had Olave bail him out a couple times. Juwan Johnson bailed him out a couple times. And then he refused to throw the ball away. That's when, he was just protecting his stats. He refused
Oh my
to throw that ball
god,
away.
Ace.
He would
Guess
take
what?
the sack in 2nd and 8 in the red zone
Guess what, Ace?
instead of throwing it away.
The Giants and the Cowboys have the same record going into this week.
You know what, Drunk? That is getting the star of the episode. This is the comment for the episode right here.
What do you say?
Dennis Allen is the poster boy for not every coordinator to make a good head coach. Amen to that, man.
Yep.
Amen.
But guess what, Ace? The Giants are 7-3 along with the Cowboys, but the Giants are gonna get killed because they just lost. The Giants just lost to the freaking, I don't know who the Giants just lost to. The fucking Lions of all teams. So guess what? I expect to beat them.
Hey, the Lions won 3 straight games. Don't disrespect the Lions.
Yeah, but guess what? If you lose to the Lions, you're getting slapped to the Cowboys. It's plain and simple. I would be surprised if anything else happens at that point. But Ace, we need to talk about the Chargers and the Chiefs. Are we going to be seeing a classic Patrick Mahomes explosion game, or are the Rams just going to be total shit and let the Seahawks walk?
Mahomes is going to destroy them. That defense is garbage. Jalen Ramsey is officially washed. Dude had a perfect passer rating allowed to Andy Dalton. That's how you know you're washed. You had 2 touchdowns and a perfect passer rating.
Hey, bro, this is
Andy freaking Dalton.
Bro, this is going to be like the Seahawks and the 49ers going to the playoffs. They're just cruising at this point. They don't even have to play hard anymore, and they'll still make the playoffs with how bad the rest of the NFC
The NFC playoffs is going to come down to the last wild card.
Dude,
It's pretty much set.
This is literally Seahawks and 49ers right now in that NFC West with how pissed bad it is right now. La,
Okay.
la, 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 la. They're just swinging their arms. They're singing so gay. La, 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 la. That's what's happening right now.
Matter
Matter
of
of
fact,
fact-
that's all I can say.
Matter of fact, they're holding hands together while doing it as they go to the playoffs because that's how bad the NFC is right now. This NFC West will cry out
pretty
loud.
much the NFC is going to come down to the last Rams wash. Yeah, pretty much that defense is garbage. But I was gonna say, so the last playoff.
Jamal Crawford is playing still?
Huh?
Jamal Crawford is still playing? I thought he retired.
He retired. He's probably like in the big three again or something.
With all due respect, Ace, but this last Bleacher Report notification is telling me otherwise.
What?
Oh, wait, never mind. He's live reacting. Oops, what a noob move. Rams a wash rag.
Silly.
What? You know what? I hope the Seahawks play the Rams soon because I hope they could beat the shit out of them.
Yeah, the Rams cut Darrell Henderson after all that talk that they were going to trade or release Cam Akers. Guess who ended up getting cut? Darrell Henderson.
Of everyone.
Yeah, I can't get myself to pick up Cam Akers in fantasy, though.
Oh my God, Ace. Guess what? Seahawks play the Rams next week. That should be fun.
Put up DK Metcalf.
DK Metcalf
against Ramsey while Tyler Lockett has 10 catches and 180 yards and 2 touchdowns.
And that other wide receiver too. What is his name?
Marquise Goodwin.
Yeah, Goodwin's gonna
How
go.
do I know more people on your team than you know on your own team?
It was a brain fart, all right? I hear Marquise Goodwin, Marquise Brown, Marquise Jackson, Marquise. It's so easy to get confused with names, Ace, okay?
All right, whatever.
So
anything else?
Let's see. Panthers, Seahawks a week after. 49ers 2 weeks from now. Guess what? The Seahawks play the Cliff Kingsbury.
What week do you think he gets fired? I think he's by
end of the season. End of the season, I say. I think the Cardinals are
the
done.
End of the year to fire him.
Yeah, at this point, the Cardinals are done, in my opinion. Wow.
God, I want to put. I want to keep the Dennis Allen poster boy comment, but now I want to put this one up. Can I also start this one? Stafford, hey, I'm starting both of them.
And turn it to Chase Daniels. Oh my God. It's like
Stafford's washed. I mean, he got a concussion or whatever, but I mean, he's been bad.
Wow. I ain't gonna lie to you, Ace, but the Seahawks schedule might take up an ante for the last 2 weeks before the last 2 weeks of their schedule with the 49ers and the Chiefs back to back.
Hey, Drunk, put in the comment section who you got making the playoffs, the Giants or the Commanders. They do have to play each other twice. Still. Twitter say Coward been injured since Warzone. That would probably be me. Tyreek Hill asked if anybody. Well, how come he can't get a win in Warzone? Yeah. Ask Kyler Murray. Kyler Murray hasn't. He's been playing that, and he won't play in the NFL since Warzone came out. Kind of find that coincidental or suspicious. Suspicious is more like it.
Hey, so when we go over
the man has not played since Warzone came out. You're gonna like, is your hamstring really hurt? You never want to question.
You want to hear the rest of the schedule for the Saints or no?
Huh?
You want to hear the rest of the schedule for the Saints?
L win L.
Is the only one the Browns? You're planning on losing to the Panthers too? That's sad.
Yeah.
So you got the hell week with the Niners, and then you got another hell week with the Bucks. Then you got a hell week with the Falcons. The Browns, you might lose to the Browns too if Prime Deshaun Watson comes out. Eagles, that's already a bookmarked L. And Panthers, yeah, you can win that one, but if you want to give up, and yeah, go ahead and give up. Oh, you know what? I should do the Eagles schedule. What the Eagles look like?
Man, just in his own world. Yeah, Taylor Heineke being 5-1 is absolutely insane.
Ace. Packers and Eagles. Jalen Hurts get it done, or you're all going to be calling the Eagles frauds again this weekend?
The Packers are garbage. Like, they're really garbage. Like, AJ Dillon's a glorified fullback.
Fantasy points, though. Ooh,
he's not getting fantasy.
Ooh, Eagles versus Titans. Do the Titans beat them or no?
Well, you know what, Drunk? You know, my only saving thing from depression with that whole trade is that Chris Olave might be a top 6 receiver in the NFL by next year if he has a quarterback.
He's getting washed with the Eagles having their first round pick. He's right, though. He is right.
You know, like, they would have probably ended up
beat down. And matter of fact, they might with a black quarterback running.
Williams. That's what we're doing. We're tanking for Caleb Williams next year, guys.
Hey, guess what?
Preaching the tank for Caleb train.
Jalen Hurts is going to hear the news of how they've been treating black quarterbacks in New Orleans with Dennis Allen, and Jalen's going to pound him hard. And then guess what? Dennis Allen will come in the post game show and say, "My quarterback is amazing, guys. I believe in my quarterback. I believe in him so much. I believe he's going to win the Super Bowl next year." That's what's going to happen.
I told JPeeps this last week, and I said the Eagles have to be careful. Well, not the Eagles. Jalen Hurts has to be careful because if they make the playoffs, right, they're going to make the playoffs. It's not more of an if. But when they make the playoffs, they have to win a playoff game because if they don't, they're going to have a top 5 pick and a legitimate chance to be drafting CJ Stroud or Bryce Young. And you have to have this conversation.
You are right to an extent. They have to win that game or else they'll be well, you know what? I think in that position, I would not even look at the quarterback. If you're with that high of a pick, I would just get like the best talented available person.
So you would just take Jalen Carter instead of if Jalen Hurts does again what he did against Tampa and absolutely crap the bed. It's just a conversation. I'm a big Jalen Hurts believer. I'm just saying.
But Eagles were nowhere as good that year versus this year. That's the thing.
It's just an if conversation that the Eagles will have to have. It's the same thing with Chicago where Justin Fields has a dislocated shoulder right now. He's been playing good, but I mean, you're gonna have a top 3 pick again. And you could probably get a first round and a second round pick at this rate for Justin Fields. And you're like, well, do you take Jalen Carter or Will Anderson and you build around Fields, or do you take an extra first round pick and a second round pick or whatever you're going to get for Fields, and you take Bryce Young or CJ Stroud, and you get your front office, that guy, because you didn't draft Justin Fields, and that front office, you want to get your guy and let Justin go and at least not die every week like he is in Chicago, where that man has 100% more accountability in him than Zach Wilson will ever have, where he actually apologized to his team for his offense being dog crap, while Zach Wilson said, "No, I thought we were all right, guys." But yet, yeah, I think they love him a lot, but you're like, if you have that
except the racist executives.
Okay, so you think he got another year? Because I mean, the Eagles are gonna have 2 first-round picks.
I'm telling you, Ace, they're not thinking about those guys. Eagles are not even gonna.
No, you're gonna pay Jalen Hurts without a playoff win because he's gonna be contract extension eligible. Do you give him that extension?
Yes, but here's the thing. I do think the Eagles are gonna win their first playoff game. Sorry, I'm just saying that.
Drunk, you're getting 3-starred comments tonight. I've been saying it for weeks. You are watching a man waste his career in Chicago.
Ace, I got a question for you.
What?
Eagles versus the Titans. Who you like in that game?
The Eagles' run defense is absolute garbage.
You think the Titans will beat them in? Is it in Philly?
I think the Titans can beat them.
In Philadelphia. It's in Philadelphia, by the way. You think you think the Titans will beat them, or you think the Titans can beat them, or you think the Eagles
can? I give them like a solid. It's like if it's a snow game, I give the Titans the edge.
That's a fair analysis for sure. Also, there's another one I want to point out for you: Titans and Cowboys. Derrick Henry versus Micah Parsons. Who you think Derrick Henry will go nuclear, or you think he's going to be contained? What's his face?
Cowboys.
Yeah,
I'll give the Cowboys the edge.
What would you do if the Titans manage to blow the shit out of Dallas? I'm sorry.
Then Sean Payton to Dallas conversations resume. Even though I think Mike McCarthy probably is pretty safe this year.
Fox forced me to watch Bears games I'm sorry, sir. I'm sorry. That is actually terrible. Like, you should probably leave your city at that point. I'm kidding.
You have the pain. I couldn't do that. I would stop watching the NFL. If I have to watch Justin Fields keep dying on the football field every week, yeah, I'd stop. Mike Parsons closest thing will ever get to Lawrence. Yeah, I can see that. I can agree with that. In this era, yeah, he's pretty thing. It's
You
crazy
wanna
to
was-
think
Hey,
this
so when I
man
was even
this man should have went number 2 in the draft or number 1 in the draft in 21, but because he sat the year and he had that like character issue whole conversation, he fell. And Dallas got an absolute steal.
Hey, Ace, let me tell you this. And I forgot. Never mind.
There are
No.
certain times when you can look past character issues depending on the circumstance. You can see what the Eagles like. They looked. Oh God, this year especially.
Oh my gosh.
Oof. How come you don't get the Bengals? I would.
Remember,
think
re-
Cincinnati would be closer than
you want
St. Louis.
to what's even
St.
funnier?
Louis and
Tampa
Pittsburgh.
Bay had so many blackout games back in the day because
Why
they
do you
weren't.
think I became a Saints fan? There was always blacked out games and
There was no Bucks
Bucks,
game
so-
for us living in Tampa Bay. Not until Tom Brady. Well, actually, ever since Bruce Arians came in. I mix up BA and DA. I'm sorry, Ace.
Yeah, I'm looking at the map. Like Cincinnati and Nashville are closer to St. Louis than Pittsburgh. How come you get Pittsburgh games? That's actually surprising. Or even Indianapolis. Hell, probably the Colts are garbage this year too.
Actually, you know what, Ace? This is what I want to say. The Chargers should be on everyone's most disappointing team of the year list.
No, the Chargers should be the front runners for Sean Payton, and that first round pick's looking very nice.
That
especially at
you
number
totally
13.
changed the topic, Ace. I said they should be on everyone's list of disappointment of the year next to the Broncos. Except the
Okay.
Chargers are not being talked enough because we're always
the
hearing
situation with
the
Justin
Russell
Jefferson.
Wilson.
Hey, all right, I'm gonna hush you on that. I'm gonna talk about this first. The situation with Justin Jefferson, I think, has a lot to do with situation and the lack of expectation. That is what is the issue for CeeDee Lamb. He came in, he did not want to be like the Terrell Owens, the Michael Irvin, the Des Bryant type figure in Dallas. He just wanted to be himself. He wanted to wear number 10. Jerry Jones forced him to wear 88. And then you have Justin Jefferson, who was coming in to replace Stephon Diggs, and no one even compared him to. They expected him to be a wide receiver too, to Adam Thielen. What did the guy do? The guy said, "Hey, I played behind Jamar Chase. I'm gonna just do whatever the hell I want." He didn't have the expectation CD had. That's just what I want to say on it. Because you can see CD have his moments, but then Jefferson's in a different class right now. You know, well, Minnesota developed him and let him grow on his own and didn't have to have like that whole thing. Yeah, Missouri. Hey, half Kansas City games are on prime time, so you can see him anyway.
Oh boy, that is true. That is true.
Just saying.
That's probably why.
But
back to what I was saying. Do you think the Chargers are not?
All right, clarify. Do you agree with me on the CD Jefferson thing or the KC always being on prime time one? Because I'm confused.
I think it's probably the KC being on prime time.
Yeah. But what were you saying now back with Russell, Ajay, or Flash?
I was saying that the Chargers should be on everyone's list of disappointing teams, and not only giving all the slander to Russell Wilson, saying "Let's ride, Broncos County, let's ride." Like, listen, bro. Like, I'm just not hearing enough about the Los Angeles Chargers for a team who's what 3-7, 4-7.
They're 5-5.
They're 5-5 now. Still disappointing, but.
You want me to read out the Chargers schedule? I honestly think the Chargers will finish with a losing record and miss the playoffs, except the AFC is so wide open right now for the wild card spots compared to the NFC. It's just like, the Chargers might sneak in and just ruin it because they got the Cardinals this week. You're like, okay,
they should win that game. They should win.
They should win it. They've already lost. They've beaten the Raiders this year, but then again, it's not always a guarantee. If the Raiders sometimes show up, sometimes they don't.
Nah, they should beat the Raiders. The Dolphins, I could see them.
They're going to lose to the Dolphins. They're going to lose to the Titans, and then that drops you down to 6-7, and then you'd have to win a primetime game in Indianapolis or the Rams.
That's a win.
Or a road game against the Broncos.
Oh my God, they have back-to-back. Oh my God, they have back-to-back primetime games. Ace, they have back-to-back primetime games. The Chargers, December 26th, they have the game at 8:15, while January 1st is an 8:20 game.
They have Monday Night Football and Sunday Night Football against the Rams. That game might get flexed though.
What, the Rams and Chargers? No, that's Battle of LA. They're gonna
Chargers in the Super Bowl. Made that prediction 2 shots in on Vodka. Yeah, I had the Saints and Bengals. I was already completely sober and insane, so don't worry. Saints are my number 1 letdown team, but also they got decimated by injuries and a shitty coaching staff. So,
all right. Do you guys think Buffalo is going to be the AFC team altogether, or you think there's
Kansas City?
Kansas City.
Yeah, Mahomes going to win MVP.
They're going to give
Tua.
Jalen
Hurts will get screwed out of it because if Miami wins the AFC East, I think Tua gets it. Oh my! Tua's the only undefeated quarterback in the NFL right now.
Kansas City Chiefs are like,
and I think maybe Joe Flacco. I think Joe Flacco lost.
Oh my God! Rams are 3-7, while the Chiefs are 8-2. They are the quietest 8-2 team I've ever heard of, to be honest. You don't hear anything about the Chiefs.
I agree. Buffalo will figure it out, but I think the day Buffalo figures it out is the same day James Cook takes over the backfield. Because James Cook has looked like a way more efficient player than Devin Singletary has, and I think Singletary's been getting touchdowns to save his value, not just in fantasy, but on the field. And I think the day James Cook takes over the backfield is the same day Buffalo clicks on all cylinders.
Potentially.
That's just what I gotta say.
Oh,
but I was just saying Tua for MVP is because he is, I believe, 6-0 or 7-0 at this point. And the only game Miami's lost is the game he got hurt in, and the 2 games he missed.
Man, I just cannot believe the Chiefs are the quietest 8-2 team I ever heard of, because no one had really been talking about the Chiefs at all this year, to be completely honest.
The Chiefs are the quietest 8-2 team you've ever heard of because they lost to Indianapolis.
Oh, that's
early in the year. Well, yeah, not having a true number 1 didn't save Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, but guess what? Not having a true number 1, but the Chiefs are 8-2.
Hey, having a true number 1, well, actually having 2 true number 1s got Cincinnati into the Super Bowl, but having a true number 1, ultimate number 1, got the Rams into the Super Bowl. So, hey, his true number 1 is Travis Kelce.
You want now that I saw that the Chiefs are 8-2, could Geno Smith beat the Chiefs?
No.
Well, we won't even get to talk about it, so we might as well talk about it now. Can Geno Smith beat the Chiefs?
Christmas Eve.
Christmas Eve.
You think Geno Smith's got a Christmas miracle in him?
Yes. I'm gonna bite the bull. I'm gonna bite it and say yes. I believe in the Seahawks that they'll take out the Chiefs. I believe in them. Believe me. You see that? Believe me. I believe that Geno Smith is going to take out the Chiefs on Christmas Eve.
Oh my God, he actually got me thinking about it. No.
It's happening. I'm telling you, it's happening. It's happening. I'm telling you, it's going to happen.
I will make a prediction on that game.
That Seahawks game was
against the Bucks.
Yeah, that does not count because the referees were just were riding Tom Brady, bro.
That's what I'm saying. Geno, okay.
But the thing is, Geno's been playing like he's going to Hall of Fame. The Chiefs' defense is not even that good.
Wait. No. I'm gonna be Frank Castor here. It depends on if Seattle gets their mojo back coming back over to the US. If Seattle gets their mojo back, like how they were before the Bucs game, and in the third quarter of the game, and they can actually. So drunk. Yeah, but back to this. Like, if they figure themselves back out, I think it's a legitimate chance they can beat them. They got the offense for it, and the Chiefs running game. The Seahawks run defense. My bad, is their one weakness, and Kansas City can't run the ball very well. So it's very possible.
Hey, as I said, it's Seahawks at this point are like a defensive away from being Super Bowl contenders at this rate. They really
that's
are.
the heart of the fantasy playoffs.
That's
Isaiah
it.
Pacheco. Oh boy. Isaiah Pacheco's got a hell of a fantasy playoff schedule. He's got the Texans, the Seahawks, and then he's got a brutal game against the Broncos. But those first two games, like, yeah, I could take that.
With
That's
all
like
due
easy
respect,
100 yards.
Ace, let's just skip NBA today. We love football too much.
Yeah, we got the Celtics and Bucks leading. Tyrese Halliburton 20-10. I mean, good for him, player of the week and all that. I don't know if anything else. The Devils won 13 straight.
But guys,
Bruins beat the Lightning. Lightning just don't care until the playoffs start. So
but
that's all
guess what?
8
straight for the Bruins, guys. Congratulations, Boston.
Yeah, regular season champs.
Yay! Yes, let's go. Let's get them their regular season championship. Here, I'll give one. Matter of fact, Boston.
Man, we're gonna write us.
Boston.
2022
Bruin.
regular season champs. First round exit. Second round exit. There we go. I'll be nice. I'll give him a second round to the Lightning. He's really writing a thing on this. Any day now, mister. I want to wrap this up. It's been an hour and 40 minutes.
It doesn't matter. I'm neatening it up. Boston, bro.
The Nets are so bad. Kyrie's going to get traded before the deadline. KD's going to reinstate his trade request. And
Bruins fan, raise this in the TD Garden.
Give me a second.
We are the champ. Oh, damn it, Ace.
No. Sorry, I'm trying to put.
Hey, Bruins fans, raise this. We are the champion, my friends. Look, it's waves too. It's waving. It's waving. You should be proud of it.
Yeah, like I said, so the Nets, man, I think the Nets are going to have to blow it up this year. They're going to absolutely regret blowing up the 2018 Nets team. That Nets team could have been special between
trade Kyrie for D'Lo. That's what they got to do. Trade Kyrie for D'Lo right now. And that's how you save their season.
D'Lo hasn't been as hot either, but
well, no, it depends on fit, and they gotta beg Kenny Atkinson to come back. That's what they have to do.
Amen to this. Go Blues after Bruins. Nobody likes the Bruins except people from Boston.
Can you believe I already crumbled their championship banner already because it's fake? just like the players, like the season.
Hey, Drunks, what happened to Vladimir Tarasenko, bro? Is he still good? He's only got 13 points, but he's also only played 16 games. Like, is that shoulder ever healthy? Oh, you ain't even know. You asking me if the Blues doing good, yeah or nay? I mean, Jordan Binnington's been absolute dog shit every time I check. I'm actually serious on that. Every time I check the Blues, like Jordan Binnington's given up like 5 goals a game, and I'm like, what the hell, Blues?
Thank you for Patty Maroon, nowadays. Sir. I thank you for Patty Maroon.
Oh yeah, thanks Blues for Patty Maroons. So yeah, the Blues have a winning record. They're 10-8. I mean, yeah, their goalie Jordan Binnington needs to get his ass together, bro. I'm sick of him. Drove me up the wall. But the Blues are sitting right now 4th in Central, so that's good enough for a playoff spot as a wild card team. But you know you got issues when the Seattle Kraken have more points than you. And the Seattle Kraken, what do we just like patchwork the team compared to the Knights? So, just saying. Like right now, the Blues would be tied for the last place, the same spot in the Pacific. They wouldn't even be a top 3 seed in the Pacific, and the Pacific's the worst conference, the worst division in hockey. So that's all I got to say for the Blues. I need Tarasenko to come back to form.
I have nothing else. 2019
Tarasenko will be appreciated for my fantasy team. I don't know what y'all doing with Ryan O'Reilly because I know he's a free agent this year. Torrey Cruz hurt. Colin Pareko, Boots Neves, Bortuz. Was this like the entire team hurt or something like that? Did they have an outbreak? Like, what the hell? They've only played like 18.
Ace.
They've played like the least amount of games in the NHL. That's what I want to know.
Ace.
Oh, sorry.
No. No.
Nah. Like the Kraken got like it was blatant collusion against them in that expansion draft. But then you're like, they're figuring it out. They're gonna send Shane Wright down to the AHL for 2 weeks, then bring him back up, wait some time, and then they're gonna send them back to the CHL where you'll get traded. It's a bunch of finessing the Kraken are doing with him to get him on a different team for the OHL, and he'll be back next year. But Matty Benier's been doing good. Jordan Eberle, Yanni Gord, obviously. Kraken are just wiggling their way through the worst division in hockey. That's all I got to say with that. Now, the Buffalo Sabres, bro, they're just steamrolling everybody. Like, what the hell's up with the Sabres? They just casually dropped 7 goals on the Canadians, who somehow aren't the worst team in hockey this year. While there has been talk that the NHL has it rigged, I tried making a hockey take without watching one hockey game. Hashtag fail. Hey, I'll be honest. I only watch every one game a week with the Lightning, and then I'll watch every single playoff game. I wait till the playoffs to watch every game. It's too hard to keep up with the games in the middle of the week and the regular season, but yeah, so they were saying like the Penguins have it. It's the NHL has it rigged for the Penguins because Crosby's like 38 now. Yeah, sorry, dude. We're talking a little bit about hockey. Chill. I'll switch it to the hockey background. There you go. Happy? Yeah, so because like Crosby's 38, Malkin's Crosby's 37, Malkin's 38. That whole team's aging out there. And the Penguins have this storied franchise, so they're gonna have them get the number 1 pick and get Connor Bedard, and it'll be all nice and happy for them. So I want to watch hockey, but bro, NBA and NFL come on at the same time. I don't know how y'all do it. I have a fantasy hockey team, so I keep up on the scores. That's about it. I don't watch every game like I do NFL. I just keep tabs on it during the regular season. Then trade deadline comes around and then I get into it because that's after the NFL finishes and then NBA All-Star break hits. So it's just those 2 sports and it's easy to focus on. But with that said, Flash is right. Let's wrap this up.
Yeah.
Hour 47, Flash. What do you got to say to close it out?
It's a good thing you didn't have that one guy you had on that other time on your other podcast.
Oh, Family Central.
Yeah,
we didn't talk about hockey, so I had to give a little hockey talk.
Fair enough. But
we won an hour.
We went 48 minutes over, so extra stuff for you guys.
We won an hour. We won an hour with college football. We won full college football here. Thanks, Drunk, for the great stream. Salute to you too, my friend. We'll have one more episode for 2023 next week to recap everything.
Rivalry week, college football predictions.
This will be back.
Bowl
Don't worry. We'll bring this back.
Why?
If any crazy upsets happen next week.
Oh, well, I mean, by then, I think by the time we have after next week, it's all over, VJ. They'll have the final rankings
after
out,
next week, most of the games, you'll have the conference games, but we'll be out.
Oh, yeah, I'm tripping.
When we'll come back, will be after the college football championship. I think we'll come back the week before the championship game is played or week after. I'm not sure yet. But next week's gonna be the finale.
No. We're coming back. We're coming back with Stank for the final NFL week. Remember?
Yeah, that's like first week in January.
Yeah, that's before the playoffs.
No, the college football playoff game is New Year's Eve. So.
Yeah, that We'll be here for national championship.
I share, subscribe, be a friend, tell a friend,
I
retweet if you're on Twitter.
You know what, Ace? I suppose if we do have time, we could probably do a bowl special for all college football
Maybe we might do a
bowls.
holiday special bowl, special predictions. and all
Holiday special, with your presents being all the bowls. I think that would be fun. And a full Christmas as well. I do. We should take a break, but at the same time, we should definitely talk about getting.
You know, you don't do any of the work for the show. You just want to have everything.
No,
You know what
I
that
just
saying?
don't work.
Be a friend, tell a friend, like, share,
He's
subscribe.
Christ so much. Don't listen to him.
Flash doesn't make scripts, but he wants to say what to do. But that being said, see you guys next week for
Ace
the
Christ so
season
much. Don't
finale
listen to him.
of
Bye.
season 4.
Be a friend.
Thanks.